All right, the Elite XC MMA League just announced that they are, in fact, folding. Now, could more organizations be in trouble? It's time to ask some questions about the future of MMA in The Loop. Joining me via satellite to help us make sense of it all, MMA writer for Yahoo Sports, Dave Meltzer, joins us. How are you, Dave?
Pretty good. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right, thanks. Listen, I'm still a little surprised. I think a lot of people are that don't closely follow the sport, you know, entrenched with all the blogs. Elite XC is an organization that had 7 of the 10 most watched MMA matches of all time. So what the hell happened that they had to actually shut down and close up shop?
Well, I mean, they got on CBS, and a lot of people watched the matches, but the problem was the company was losing money hand over fist. They'd lost like $55 million in less than 2 years of existence. And so they were going to have to either sell to CBS and Showtime, or they were going to be out of business by the end of the year. And then what happened, they were very close to a sale, and then because of this scandal in the Kimbo fight from 2 weeks ago, for 3 weeks ago now, CBS pulled out of the talks 2 weeks ago, and they had to fold.
Yeah, no, it's interesting that you say because of the Kimbo scandal, because I think some people still believe that this is due to the fact that Kimbo took an off-balance jab and fell down and went boom, and they're saying, well, that's clearly the reason that the whole organization folded, but it has nothing to do with the loss itself, right?
No, it has nothing to do with the loss itself. What happened is the controversy as to whether Seth Petrozelli, who was Kimbo's opponent, was told not to take the fight to the ground or given a bonus not to take the fight to the ground, which would be manipulating the fight illegally. It wasn't fixed. Nobody took a dive. I mean, people think like, oh, you know, it was fixed and that's why Kimbo lost. In fact, I think that they wanted Kimbo to win, and the question is, how much did they manipulate it? Because they have admitted that they gave Petrozelli a knockout bonus, but not a submission bonus, which would encourage him to stand,
sure,
which is legal, but the claim and the controversy is whether they did a little bit more than that and went over the line of legality, which is saying, you know, we'll give you money if you don't go to the ground with them, that's, you know, the Florida Boxing Commission's investigating it, and CBS at that point decided there's a little bit too much controversy for us, and they said they did not want to buy this organization at this time.
And so there they went. Well, what upcoming matches does this actually affect?
Well, I mean, whenever the next CBS show was, or pay-per-view, they were going to do Gino Carano and Chris Cyborg. Perhaps they would have done Kimbo and Seth Petrozelli as a rematch. There was a November 8th show on Showtime that was actually a really good show in Reno that also had to be canceled. So, you know, CBS was planning on doing, you know, quarterly shows next year, and as of right now, you know, that's all up in the air whether that's going to happen. I know Showtime does still want to do MMA, but now we don't know with who.
Right. And I have nothing but love for fighters like Kimbo and Gina. I mean, yes, Kimbo rearranged some people's eyeballs in a backyard in Florida for his upbringing. I get that. But, you know, Dana White, head of UFC, says he has no interest in signing Kimbo pretty much because of his upbringing there. And he says he has no interest in promoting female MMA fighters. I mean, what's going to happen now? Are they just going to go away? I mean, Gina was a major draw. She's a huge name.
Well, Gina is going to get work somewhere because there's a million small-time MMA promoters that would love to have her on a show, and there are other organizations, Affliction and Strikeforce and things like that, you know, she'll fight if she wants to fight. Kimbo will get a ton of offers, especially I think Kimbo would be really big in Japan. He'll get his offers, and I believe that if Kimbo wanted to go into UFC and go on the Ultimate Fighter reality show as a heavyweight, if they could build the show around him and do tremendous ratings. I think Dana would go for that, and if he earned his way into UFC, he would take him. But to put him on a main card straight out, I think that there's this feeling that he's going to have to beat some credible people first, which he hasn't done yet, and they don't want to bring him in until that happens. I wouldn't say the door is shut on him, but it'd be hard for him to get in. And for Gina, you know, it's going to be a while before UFC takes women, but like Affliction, you know, they're already talking about, and they're, you know, the #2 group probably right now. They're already talking about like maybe bringing in women, and so they'll both have plenty of work.
And just in your heart of hearts, Dave, does a piece of you just want to see Kimbo go back to a boatyard and rearrange some faces that way?
I'm not into that. I thought that, you know, like, you know, if he learned this sport and he deserves to be in the sport, that's cool, you know.
Yeah, I agree. A lot of people ignore the fact that he really is trying to train to become a fighter. He's got a long road to go, and I hope he walks it. Dave, thank you so much for joining us. I think you wrote a fantastic article on it. I want everybody to check it out at Yahoo. But I appreciate you coming on and keeping us in the loop.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it, too.